Hey, Owen. I just finished with all the paperwork at the nursing home. Your mom has been safely admitted without trouble. She said she likes her room.
Okay. You must be glad she's not your responsibility anymore. You can live without burden.
Why do you say things like that?
It's true, though. Without her at home, you'll have nothing to do. Now you get to be a bored, full-time housewife.
There are a lot of things I have to do around the house as a housemaker. Besides, I will be visiting her every week.
Well, obviously. Still, it's so much better than taking care of her at home 24/7.
You're right. But I don't make it sound like you did anything for her. I took care of her, not you.
Excuse me? You live off what I make it work. I have the right to say whatever I want.
You may. But I don't think you understand anything about taking care of an elderly at home. The past 5 years have been really hard for me.
Yeah, right. I don't think you understand how hard it is to work for your family day and night. Don't be so full of yourself just because you took care of my mom.
I'm not being full of myself.
Yes, you are. It means you think you're better if you talk back to me. But you don't get to do that. Not when you don't even make a penny.
If it were a job to take care of your mom, I would have made a lot by now.
Give me a break, woman. You know nothing about making money or caregiving. See, this is why I hate talking to housewives. None of you have a sense of professionalism.
I will gladly work again. Think about it. Your mom is in a nursing home now. The kids are in college. If you think I'll be bored, then I will find a job.
You? Work? This is hilarious. How long has it been since you last had a job? Why on earth do you think you'll be of any use for any kind of job?
You don't know that. It's true I haven't worked in a while, but it doesn't mean I have never worked. Surely there is something out there I can do.
Don't embarrass yourself. You think you can do these things, but you can't. And no one would hire an old woman like you.
I think I would be able to find something at nursing homes. Perhaps as a housekeeper in the facility, or even a caregiver. I do have hands-on experience with your mother.
You're not even trained. Anyone can take care of their family in their own home. And I think you are forgetting that you have to do your own housekeeping. Will you do all the chores perfectly? Without any compromise?
I think I can if I only work part-time. I have taken care of your mom while I do all the housework, so I don't think it's impossible.
Well, it is impossible. Once you start working, you'll end up doing overtime because of this and that and blah, 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 blah. I can easily imagine you slacking on chores. Wait a minute. Are you saying you want to get a job because you don't want to do housework?
What? No, Owen.
I'm probably right. Or you just want cash now that you have time to play around.
You really don't trust me, do you? I'm only suggesting to work because you keep saying I live off of what you make. If you don't like paying everything for me, then I'm saying I am happy to provide for myself.
Nothing good comes out of women with money. You know, just keep your mouth shut and do as I say. You won't find any job anyway. No one will want you.
Sure, whatever.
It's best for a woman to stand behind her husband and do as he says. Try not to piss me off, especially now that you're old and worthless. Erica, where the hell is my lunch?
It's in the fridge. Do you not see it?
You're making me warm my own food?
Yes? I hope you don't mind me to do that for you.
Why the hell do I have to do a chore on a day off? It's your damn job to have food ready so that I can eat it as soon as I want it!
I told you I was seeing your mother today. I specifically told you that you'll be eating on your own if you're not visiting her with me. How am I supposed to warm your food while being at her nursing home, huh?
I'll not eat such cold food!
That's what microwaves are for. Do you not know how to use it?
I should be your priority, not my mother! Why the hell did you not prepare my food before you went off to see her?
The food that is in front of you right now, see it? I made that for you before I left. I put it in the fridge so that it stays fresh. Now, all you need to do is put it in the microwave and warm it up for a couple of minutes. You know, if you can't even do that, you are going to have a lot of trouble in the future.
Why the hell would I have any trouble?
You don't know if I'll be around forever. Anything could happen to me. What are you going to do then? You should stop being dependent on me.
What, dependent on you? Who the hell makes money to put food on your table?
You do.
If you know that, why can't you listen to what I say? How many times do I have to tell you? You always forget anything I say in seconds. You're dumber than a chicken.
It's not that I don't understand that you pay for me. I'm just worried for you. You don't know what life has in store for you.
Sure I do. I have nothing to worry about as long as you do as I say. And that includes you not getting sick while I'm alive. You will manage your health so that you can take care of me and do your role.
Owen, you know I can't control everything. I could end up with a terminal illness or get hit by a car tomorrow. Stop acting like a child.
You're the one disobeying me like a child. Why won't you listen to me? Just come home now!
What? Even if I leave now, it will take me an hour to get home.
I said come home!
You would rather wait an hour than use your microwave for a couple of minutes? The food is right in front of you.
You need to do your job.
Owen, seriously?
I have never been more serious. I'm telling you that you need to complete the task you are required of.
I can't come home just yet. I have a meeting about your mother with the caregivers in the afternoon. You will have to warm your food by yourself.
You still want to argue with me?
I really prefer not to.
What is wrong with you? You can't have an attitude with me. I'll kick you out of the house. In fact, I don't have a problem if you don't come home at all.
I'm sorry, but no matter what you say, I can't come home at the moment. I have my obligations to your mother and caregivers too. I will not spare it to warm your food. If you don't want to warm it yourself, then you will have to wait for me to come home after the meeting.
I said, come home now! I'm serious! You've pissed me off badly, Erica! If you don't come home now, your life is over. Are you there? Hello? Reply to me, bitch! Erica, how long are you going to refuse to do your job? You need to do the chores.
I have not refused. You don't see it, but I've actually done some housework so that the house doesn't become dump.
Some housework? Give me a break! Cleaning is not the only work you need to do. You don't wake me in the morning, don't even say hello. Do you make me eat on my own? What kind of a wife are you?
You can wake yourself up in the morning. You're not in elementary school. Besides, the food you eat on your own is still prepared by me. And I don't say hello to you because you have been ignoring me. Was I supposed to say hello anyway if you ignore me? Why should I try to be nice when you're not?
You don't understand what it means to be a wife.
I do though, and from what I understand, being a wife is different from being a mother. You are an adult for crying out loud. You are an old man. It's quite embarrassing for a bloke like you to fully depend on a woman to get by.
Hey! Watch yourself. You get to live a decent life because I earn money. If you continue on with that attitude, I'll kick you out. I can disown you anytime. I have the authority to do that. You should try not to piss me off more than you already have.
I really don't care if you decide to disown me. But you should know that I'm not the one leaving this house. You are.
What? Have you got mad? This is my house. No one is being kicked out but you.
Too bad, Owen. You see, this house is actually mine now. Your mom transferred the ownership of this house to me.
My mom did what?
Yep, you read right.
Why on earth would you do something like that?
Probably because you never did anything for her. You dumped everything on me, and she knew that. I should note that both of us also know that you were having an affair with another woman while I was busy taking care of your mom. She left you though, didn't she? But I'll be taking legal actions for putting me under distress.
What are you talking about? You don't have any proof.
Don't underestimate me, Owen. Of course I do. You've acted like you own me or something. Treated me like a slave all along. Your mom knew it and had a lot of sympathy for me. You should be ashamed that you made your elderly mother apologize for your behavior. It was her idea to join a nursing home because she didn't want me to live like this any longer. And when she did, she had all documents prepared so that she could transfer the ownership of this house. I now have the legal right to ask you to move out. So, like I said, you're the one getting kicked out. You better start packing the moment you get back from work.
Why am I hearing this now? Why didn't you tell me? You can't just suddenly make me move out!
You were telling me to get out a few minutes ago, though. You're telling me that you can, but not me? Well, you should try to understand that the wheels have turned. You can't act like a child and refuse to be treated the way you were treating others.
My mom would not choose you over me! You two didn't even get along when we began to live in the same house.
But I still treated her with respect and took care of her. It didn't take long for her to realize I wasn't a bad person. Or that her own son, on the other hand, was.
Wait, you need to give me a minute. I'm not following any of this.
It doesn't matter if you do. Even if you don't understand, it won't change a thing. You are leaving this house immediately. By the way, I don't think I need to mention this, but we are obviously getting a divorce. My lawyer will be contacting you with the details.
Erica, let's not be emotional. We should sit down and talk this through.
What? But you were ready to kick me out. What is there to talk about?
About our future, of course. Even if you own the house, how are you gonna make a living? It'll be too difficult for you to find a job.
Everything will be fine, because I got myself a full-time job.
Huh?
I never told you, but I started a part-time job a little while ago at a nursing home as a caregiver. They were impressed with the knowledge I had and offered me a full-time position. I told them you were about to kick me out, and they have been nothing but supportive.
They must be desperate to hire someone like you.
Caregivers are needed everywhere, you know? So my hands-on experience and qualification made me a great candidate for a lot of jobs in the market.
Wait, what? You don't have any kind of qualifications?
I do. I completed all the requirements while I was taking care of your mom. She really helped me with it, you know? So now you know. I have absolutely no problem if we get a divorce. In fact, I strongly prefer it now, so that is the direction we'll be heading. Pack your things tonight and go. You no longer belong in this house. Hi, Owen. I packed your stuff and they can be picked up anytime. As usual, I did everything for you. Now all you have to do is take them with you, and I really hope that will be soon.
Erica, please wait! We haven't finished talking!
But it's been a couple of days since our last conversation. I patiently waited, but you still haven't packed your stuff. I said you were getting kicked out, so get moving.
I don't want to go!
Sorry, I wasn't asking about your feelings. Aren't you embarrassed you still need me to do everything for you? I can't believe I had to pack your stuff after telling you everything.
I wasn't planning on packing anything!
Why not? Do you mean I could just throw everything away?
No, of course not! I don't want to get a divorce!
Oh. Well, sorry you changed your mind, but it doesn't matter to me. I wish to get a divorce very strongly. I hope we could settle things between ourselves, but it looks like we need our lawyers too, after all. I will inform him that you will reach him.
I said wait! You can't just ignore me and decide on everything! Just hold on a second, will ya?
I can't, Owen. I must go on with my life. And I have already given you a couple of days. I can't give you any more time. I want to clear the house before I officially start as full-time next month.
What do you mean you want to clear the house?
I'm selling it. I have to clean it while I have the time.
You're selling my house? Are you mad? You can't sell what my mother just gave you!
First of all, it's not your house, it's mine. And second, she knows about it. In fact, she recommended I sell the house when she transferred the ownership.
I tried to reach her to clarify things, but the staff won't let me in! They won't even transfer my phone calls.
Because she told me not to. She doesn't like how you yell when you get excited and worries you would scare everyone. It's not healthy, especially for the elderly folks. And for your information, she's not interested in seeing you either.
This is absurd! Her selling the house I grew up in, where I made lots of great memories with my family, And you are ambushing me to a divorce! What have I worked for all these years?
Don't pretend like you ever worked for your family. You barely handed me enough to put food on the table. Yet, you would always complain how boring my cooking was. And you were such a cheapskate about what the kids could buy. Even if they needed something for school, you would complain that they were being greedy. Do you know I used to pay from the money I saved before marrying you? And then I had to ask my parents sometimes if they would pitch in.
I've always worked for my family.
Is that so? Well, I'm sorry, but it never seemed like it. And it's kind of hard to believe since you had that girlfriend of yours. It's not really convincing now, is it? To say you worked for your family while you betrayed them. Besides, you treated me horribly. You thought I was a slave or something, didn't you?
Of course not!
Well, then how could you have mistreated me for years? I am human too. If you say or do nasty things to me, I get hurt. The reason why I'm divorcing you is because I can't let you hurt me anymore. I refuse to be your punching bag.
Erica, I'm sorry!
It's way too late for an apology. How could I accept it, huh?
I don't want our marriage to be over. These past couple of days, I've been reflecting on what I've done to you. And how I've been dependent on you. Please give me a chance to make it all up to you. I will make sure I learn how to handle things on my own.
You see, I have given you many chances, but instead of listening, you explode every time, telling me that I was being disobedient. You never changed in the past, so I firmly believe you won't be able to change one bit in the future. That is why we are getting a divorce.
I'm sorry. I deeply regret what I have done. I'm begging you not to abandon me, please! I can't live without you, Erica!
How pathetic. I thought I was old and worthless to you, that I only needed to obey you.
I wasn't being serious, I swear!
Even if you didn't mean it, it still hurt me. You hurt me countless times. You can't take it back now. An apology is way overdue and will not be accepted.
Erica, don't leave me! You can live however you please from now on. You have my full support. Please don't say you're divorcing me. Please, take me back!
No. You did this to yourself, Owen. I can live on my own. You should learn how to as well. Maybe start by learning how to use the microwave. Owen had a hard time accepting reality, and our conversation didn't move forward for weeks. I had finally had enough and left everything in the hands of my lawyer after a while. Thanks to them, our divorce was filed 6 months later. Foreseeing a divorce in the future, I had been collecting proof of his infidelity and abuse for several years. The collection was more than enough to confirm my grounds. It helped me win a significant amount of consolation money, as well as divisions of assets. I was very pleased with the outcome, that he finally got what he deserved. He refused to leave the house for a while, so I ended up calling the police to remove him. I sent his belongings to his storage to clear the house, and shortly after, the property was successfully sold. The last time I saw him in court, he was wearing a tired, wrinkled shirt that made him look very miserable. I heard rumors that he found himself a small condo, but because he doesn't know how to do any housework, his home is literally full of trash. I bet he still doesn't know how to wash or iron clothes, or take out the trash. Owen should know by now how much I have done for him all those years, and regret that he ever mistreated me. After our divorce, I invited my children for a celebration. My kids always knew what a horrible husband he was to me, and supported me throughout the divorce. It looks like he has contacted them multiple times for help, but knowing he would manipulate them, the kids have chosen to ignore him. As for me, I have gotten used to my full-time job as a caregiver. It has been a very long time since I've last had a job, but thankfully, I have been able to enjoy it. I am grateful for my mother-in-law for pushing me forward, and for my coworkers for giving me the opportunity to start a new life.
Hey, Jack! Are you there? Where are you right now?
What is it, Sydney?
Look, if you're out trying to find a job, that's fine. But if you're just messing around, then you're going to be in serious trouble.
I've told you countless times already, though I don't know if you're even bothering to try to listen. I have a job. I'm not wasting my life away unemployed. Today I headed out in order to talk with a client directly. This isn't even the first time I've done this. How are you still under this misconception?
Misconception? Yeah, right. You keep trying to tell me you're someone who works from home, right? Are you sure you're not just trying to use that as an excuse to not go job hunting after having graduated a while ago?
I am also doing work at home, yes, but I only consider that a side job, nothing more.
Huh? A side job? You would have to have a main job of some kind to have a side job, wouldn't you?
Not necessarily. When it comes to the bulk of my income, I'm pretty sure Tom already explained it to you, didn't he? You understand how investment income works, right?
Oh, and here we go with this again. That's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You're just assuming that your investments will pay enough in an attempt to justify not having a real job. The world isn't that simple. You can't expect those investments to give you everything you need.
I mean, it's not like I'm relying that much on that income anyway. That's why I'm doing this other job to begin with, so I can leave the investments alone. The longer I leave them, the more valuable they get. Also, I'm not unemployed, like I already told you.
Oh, come on! I'm not going to let you just railroad this conversation your way.
The only one railroading things is you with your abject refusal to listen to reason.
Tom is just totally different from you. I guess he just felt like he had to treat you nicely as the big brother.
Okay, so you're just ignoring everything I'm saying now?
But as a result, you just seem completely spoiled. And why should I pay attention to someone who has no clue how the world works? I guess I'm the one who has to deal with raking you over the coals so you don't end up a totally worthless person.
I think it would be a lot better if you just stayed out of it, to be honest.
Excuse me?
Look, you haven't made the slightest effort to actually understand what I'm telling you. Everything I say to you goes in one ear and out the other. In fact, I would go so far as to guess that you've listened to what Tom, Mom, and Dad have told you, and just chose to twist their words to match whatever interpretation you wanted to take from them. If you keep blundering forward without thinking everything through, you might be in for some serious trouble in the future. I'd suggest you take a page out of Tom's book and try to pump the brakes a bit before you go charging off doing something reckless that you'll regret later. I'd highly recommend that you don't try to mess with things that you don't understand, and just leave things be until he comes back home from overseas. We're already living just fine together in this duplex. There's no need to rock the boat unnecessarily.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Do you really think you can talk like you have some level of influence around here? Are you forgetting who's the one who's even being kind enough to let a jobless guy like you stick around here? As your brother's wife, I am merely tolerating your presence as you continue to just sit here doing nothing.
So, about that.
What?
That last statement of yours just proved that you don't understand a thing about our situation here.
Excuse me?
If I remember correctly, you're the one who used Tom's overseas business posting as an excuse to start living in my half of the house, right? And this is despite the fact that you already were doing just fine in your half. This is a duplex. They're separate for a reason.
Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. I used his trip as a reason to live here? What are you trying to say?
All I said was the truth. Nothing more. But for you to look down on me like I'm some leech and just decide for yourself that I have no job? I don't understand how you can even believe this nonsense you're spouting. So please, just drop the issue at least until Tom returns home.
What's with your tone? I don't like the arrogance I'm sensing in it. Well, whatever. Regardless of what's going on, Tom's return home will be the most ideal timing for us to finally decide who's right and wrong. It's, what, 3 months until he's back home? Once he gets back, we'll see for sure who's in the wrong here. Until then, I suggest you get ready to be kicked out of the house. Okay?
Yeah, right. Hey, Sydney. I just took a look at my room and... what's going on? The room is completely empty. My shelves, bed, desk, clothes, chair. Everything is gone. The only thing left in the room is a small note in the middle of the floor that you wrote.
Ah, so you finally came home, huh? Honestly, for someone as lowly as you to go on a trip to Los Angeles and stay for 3 nights? Now that the time for us to settle our dispute is finally getting closer, you think it's just okay to just go do as you please?
What do you mean, settle our dispute?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. You said it yourself, remember? You said we'll settle things once Tom comes home from overseas.
Excuse me?
My parents-in-law also just happened to be out at a party with some of the neighbors, so they're not here either. So today was my chance. I thought that if I was going to make a move to bring this all to an end, I had to do it now.
Okay. Seriously now. I didn't say a thing about settling things. All I asked was for you to leave things be until he got back.
What are you talking about? That's the same thing. The timing was perfect for me to finally correct your mistaken understanding of how the world works, and in the clearest way possible.
I don't even know how I can approach that convoluted mess of logic. Regardless, Tom comes home from overseas tomorrow, doesn't he? So, why did you feel like you had to start doing things today? Again, I asked you to hold off until he comes back. Not until a day before he comes back. Not until a few hours before he arrives. I asked you specifically to wait until he returns.
Today, tomorrow, what difference does one day make? I mean, no matter how you look at it, all you're waiting for is to be kicked out of the house in the end anyway.
And I've told you that that's only your complete misunderstanding of the situation. I have no clue why you just can't seem to understand what's going on.
What's this now? What am I supposedly misunderstanding?
For the past 3 months, I have tried to break down everything so I could explain it to you in as many different ways as possible. But you just outright refused to listen, and instead did little more than hysterically throw verbal abuse at me day in and day out.
Well, of course I didn't listen to you. What reason would I have to believe some naive simpleton who doesn't understand how society works?
It's astonishing how accurately that describes you.
Anyway, an unemployed layabout like you is nothing but a nuisance. So, while you may have somehow managed to get a car at some point recently, if you don't hurry up and get out of this house, I won't just destroy your things. I'll also smash up that car.
Wow, it's a good thing I brought my work laptop with me on this trip. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to meet my deadline and my clients would lose their trust in me.
Right. All that work you've been doing entirely inside your own head, right? I'm telling you, that sort of stuff is bad for your head. So you need to leave the house before you start causing trouble around here with your insanity. This is my personal style of kindness through strictness. And, well, since there isn't a single thing of yours left in this house, there isn't actually any reason for you to be here anymore, is there?
Right. So it's best if I leave then?
Exactly! That's precisely what you should do.
Okay then. I'm not responsible for anything that comes of this, got it?
Sure. Enjoy all those sour grapes somewhere else. I want you out of here before the end of the day. Say, Jack? Could I talk to you for a moment?
What is it?
Look, here's the thing.
Tom just came home, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that, actually.
When you told him about how you kicked me out of the house, what did he say to you?
The thing is, he sorta, got totally pissed off, then shouted at me at the top of his lungs that you're the one who owns this house. He also went off at me about how I was taking your part of the house when I should have been living in the one he and I already had. And that your half was meant for you and whomever you might end up getting together with.
Yep, that's about what I expected from him.
So, what was he talking about? What's going on? This house. Tom built it, didn't he? As the older brother, isn't it his? How did his younger brother, who can't even hold a job, come to be living here? And what is he talking about? Whomever you're going to be with.
Well, let's start with the obvious one. That house is in my name. I'm the one who owns it.
What? Are you kidding me?
As for everything else, ask Tom. If I try to tell you anything, you're just going to twist what I'm saying to suit whatever you want. There's no point in saying any more about this myself, after all, is there?
Say, Jack? Could I talk to you for a moment?
What is it?
Look, here's the thing.
Tom just came home, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that, actually.
When you told him about how you kicked me out of the house, what did he say to you?
The thing is, he sorta, you know, got totally pissed off, then shouted at me at the top of his lungs that you're the one who owns this house. He also went off at me about how I was taking your part of the house when I should have been living in the one he and I already had. And that your half was meant for you and whomever you might end up getting together with.
Yep, that's about what I expected from him.
So, what was he talking about? What's going on? This house. Tom built it, didn't he? As the older brother, isn't it his? How did his younger brother, who can't even hold a job, come to be living here? And what is he talking about? Whomever you're going to be with.
Well, let's start with the obvious one. That house is in my name. I'm the one who owns it.
What? Are you kidding me?
As for everything else, ask Tom. If I try to tell you anything, you're just going to twist what I'm saying to suit whatever you want. There's no point in saying any more about this myself, after all, is there?
Hey, Jack! You little... What did you say to Tom?
Huh? What, did Tom do something?
He said he was going to file for divorce!
Oh, he did now, did he?
Why? Why would he do this? All I did was misunderstand some things a little. That's all. Was it really so bad as to want a divorce for it?
Well, to be perfectly honest, yes. I'm not at all surprised he wants a divorce.
What? Why?
Are you really asking that? Did you already forget what you did to me?
What are you talking about?
You threw away literally everything I had in my room.
Wait, that was... Well, I admit that I was in the wrong on that one. But all of your data for your work was still fine, wasn't it? So what's the problem?
You really don't think much about what you're doing, do you? Even if we discount the furniture that you threw out that cost a lot to replace. Among the things you threw out were mementos of my late grandparents, and of my late mother.
There were?
There were also antiques that my father had given me when I graduated high school, including a special fountain pen that I used every day and kept in pristine condition. And then there's the present I got from my girlfriend for my birthday, the suit I got from Tom as a graduation gift, my photo album from when I was a kid, my own personal mementos from when I was growing up. All of it. You threw away all of it because you just wanted to kick me out of my own house. A fact you refused to listen to me explain. Because of your childish inability to listen to a truth that didn't agree with you, you threw everything away I ever had to remember my family or my childhood by.
I don't know what I can even say to that.
That's why I asked Tom. It doesn't matter if I received all the money in the world as compensation. All of the things that were thrown out will never come back. So, I asked my brother to cut off the root cause of this whole problem. I asked him to divorce you.
What?
Of course, I knew that he had no obligation to agree to my request. That all depended on how he felt about everything. But it seems that he chose to do what I asked of him this time, doesn't it?
Why? Why would you ask him to do something like that?
Because your very existence causes me emotional trauma.
Huh?
I can't comprehend how a monster like you can even exist. To think that you could be so heartless as to happily throw out every single thing that had sentimental value to someone else. And all because you didn't even have the basic decency to actually listen to what someone else had to say. Who knows what you could do to Tom in the future if you treat his brother like this? I remember how you threatened to destroy my car. What if one day you got angry at him and decided to destroy his?
What are you saying? Tom is my husband. Why would I ever do something like that?
Well, when you suddenly decide to throw out someone's things with zero regard for how much value they hold. I'm pretty sure we can't really consider any possibility out of the question with you.
But he's my husband! It's different! Why is he so quick to take your side?
Tom and I may not be connected by blood, but we still get along really well. Perhaps more than many actual brothers.
Okay, so the two of you have a good relationship. But I have a good relationship with him too. Why would he have married me otherwise?
Well, he understood quite well the amount of pain and sadness felt at seeing all of my memories callously thrown away. As you might expect, that made him unfathomably angry. I could almost feel his heart burning with anger. It sounds like that very day he decided he was going to divorce you.
Couldn't you at least wait a little bit?
No. After what you've done, I'm surprised you think you can even ask for anything at all at this point. I warned you 3 months ago. I told you to hold off on acting recklessly, but just like always, you didn't listen to me. You reap what you sow. Anyway, I've told you everything I need to now. Can you just hurry up and get divorced and get out of this house? Forever.
What? No, wait, please.
Oh, and I'm going to block you, in the hope that you never taint my life with your presence ever again. And so, Tom and Sydney divorced, and Sydney left to go live out in the country somewhere. Though, on Tom's recommendation, I decided to file a lawsuit against Sydney, seeking damages for her destruction of my precious belongings. The total amount came to about $50,000. Though, in a rather unsurprising development, Sydney was someone who was completely irresponsible with her money and had no savings to speak of. Apparently, one of her main aims when marrying Tom was to get her hands on his money. Unable to pay a cent of the damages and grumbling about being ripped off, Sydney found herself at the mercy of her now furious parents. They paid the damages and forced Sydney to pay them back the money through her own work. Now she's working day and night to pay off her colossal debt. As for me, after this sort of traumatic event happened in this house, I decided to sell it. I couldn't bear to live in it any longer. Now I'm looking into renovating another house in the next town over, and I've got my parents, Tom, and my soon-to-be wife in on the planning. Now we're happily talking about this exciting new project and where it will take our lives next.